Vietnam was not a war of distance. It was a war of jungles, ambushes, and fear you couldn't see. Every step could be your last, and the weapons used here weren't just tools. They decided who moved forward and who never came back. Vietnam forced soldiers to adapt every single day. Weapons that worked perfectly in training often failed in real combat. Survival depended not on what you were issued, but on what you could actually trust. Today we're looking at every major weapon used in the Vietnam War, and why none of them were ever truly enough. This was supposed to be America's perfect rifle, lightweight, modern, and superior to anything the enemy carried. The M16 was used primarily by U.S. forces. Its purpose was to give American soldiers speed, accuracy, and an advantage in rapid jungle firefights. But Vietnam exposed its weaknesses. Humidity caused corrosion. Jungle mud jammed the action. Early models lacked proper cleaning kits, and soldiers were told the rifle didn't need maintenance. In combat, reliability matters more than promises. Many soldiers quietly lost confidence in the weapon they depended on. Interesting fact: some U.S. troops carried captured AK-47s, not as trophies, but as insurance. For many soldiers, the M16 became more than equipment. It became a question mark. And in a war where hesitation could cost lives, uncertainty was dangerous. If one weapon symbolized the enemy in Vietnam, it was this. The AK-47 was used by the North Vietnamese Army and Viet Cong forces. Its purpose was simple: fire every time the trigger was pulled. The rifle didn't demand careful cleaning. It didn't fail in rain or mud. It worked when neglected, and that mattered in the jungle. Simplicity became its greatest strength. Interesting fact: American patrols often recognized enemy presence just by identifying the deep, echoing sound of AK fire. The AK didn't intimidate because it was precise. It intimidated because it was dependable. In Vietnam, reliability wasn't a feature. It was survival. When this weapon fired, the jungle went silent. The M60 machine gun was used by U.S. infantry units. Its purpose was suppression, to pin the enemy down and control movement. Its sound alone changed the rhythm of a firefight. Its firepower could stop an ambush cold. But it came with a price. The gun was heavy, the operator was visible, and the enemy knew exactly who to target. Interesting fact: M60 gunners were often singled out because silencing the gun could expose the entire squad. Carrying the M60 meant responsibility. If it stopped firing, the unit was vulnerable. The gunner didn't just carry a weapon, he carried the squad's survival. Vietnam was a war fought at arm's length, and shotguns ruled that space. Combat shotguns were used by U.S. troops, especially during patrols, ambush defense, and tunnel operations. Their purpose was devastating close-range power. In thick jungle and low visibility, precision mattered less than certainty. One pull of the trigger ended the threat in front of you. Interesting fact: shotguns were especially feared during night encounters when enemy fighters appeared without warning. Shotguns offered control in chaos. When visibility disappeared, instinct took over. And in Vietnam, instinct often meant survival. Sometimes the enemy was too close to aim. Hand grenades were used by both American and Vietnamese forces. Their purpose was clearing bunkers, foxholes, and dense cover. Compact and deadly, grenades often marked the true beginning of a firefight. Explosions came before gunfire. Interesting fact: veteran soldiers learned to count seconds silently before throwing, knowing timing meant life or death. Grenades demanded judgment. Too early, and the enemy escaped. Too late, and there was no escape at all. In Vietnam, timing was everything. This weapon didn't chase the enemy. It waited. Claymore mines were used by U.S. forces to protect bases, camps, and night positions. When triggered, they created an instant wall of steel. Ambushes became defenses. In a war of surprise attacks, claymores gave soldiers control. Interesting fact: the phrase "front toward enemy" became legendary, because placing it wrong could be fatal. Claymores turned silence into warning. They didn't just stop attacks, they bought precious seconds to react. Some of the deadliest weapons in Vietnam were silent. Punji traps were used by the Viet Cong. Made from sharpened bamboo, their purpose wasn't always to kill, but to wound. A wounded soldier slowed entire units. Evacuations followed. Momentum disappeared. Fear did the rest. Interesting fact, many Punji steaks were deliberately contaminated to cause severe infections. These traps changed behavior more than bullets ever could. Every step became careful. Every path became suspicious. Few weapons inspired more fear, on both sides, than this one. Flamethrowers were used by U.S. troops to clear bunkers and fortified jungle positions. They were brutally effective, but they also painted a target on the operator's back. Everyone knew who carried it. Interesting fact, flamethrower operators were often priority targets and rarely survived long missions. The weapon's presence alone changed enemy behavior, but it also made every mission more dangerous for the man holding it. This weapon changed how the world saw the Vietnam War. Napalm was deployed by U.S. Air Forces. Its purpose was destroying cover and denying territory. Militarily effective, visually devastating. Images from napalm strikes traveled farther than bombs ever could. Interesting fact, napalm continued burning long after impact, making it impossible to escape once ignited. Napalm reshaped not just battlefields, but public opinion. And in Vietnam, perception became a battlefield of its own. Some battles were fought underground, in complete darkness. Tunnel warfare tools, pistols, knives, and flashlights were used by U.S. tunnel rats. Their purpose was simple: survive inside enemy tunnel systems. Rifles didn't fit. Armor didn't help. There was no backup. Interesting fact, tunnel rats often volunteered, fully aware they might not return. These encounters were intimate and unforgiving. No air support, no second chances, just one soldier, alone, underground. These weren't just weapons. They were reactions to a war that refused to follow rules. Every weapon in Vietnam tells the same story. Adaptation mattered more than power, and understanding the battlefield mattered more than technology. Vietnam proved something timeless. Weapons can win moments, but wars are decided by terrain, strategy, and will.